All right, NAF. Long day at the office, last series of the day. Tell me about that Spirit series and like how it went from your perspective.
First game was Nuke, which was their pick, of course, and we were expecting that pick, at least one of the picks to be Nuke, and they landed on Nuke, and yeah, so we started off on Nuke. We started off actually pretty strong. I think the big reason we were able to actually come up with a win in the end was the clutches. I think I was able to win 2 clutch rounds, and then I had that hero molly on the very last round. But I think there was some other key rounds, like OC getting 2 kills out heaven, and we were able to bring it back. There's a lot of just a lot of clutch rounds I think out of everybody on Nuke, which was I think a big reason why we were able to win. And yeah, so we closed out Nuke with a win. So that made us pretty confident going into Overpass. Sorry, I'm a little tired. So going into Overpass, we were feeling pretty strong. We started on Overpass. I think it was 8-7 for us in the very end. Overpass is a very CT side map in my opinion. So we were pretty confident going into the second half. And during the second half, we actually had a lot of the reads on them that the plays that they're actually doing. We just fumbled it in the very end. They're able to just squeak their rounds out, and they're able to come back and win. So I think honestly on Overpass we just lost to ourselves, and a lot of it was just unlucky, I guess. I don't know, because we literally felt like we were reading them so well and we were losing, so it didn't really make too much sense. I gotta give them props on Overpass with the comeback, so they're able to get that. And then going into Anubis, Anubis has been a hit or miss map kind of for us a little bit, playing it, and at the start it was a little shaky. We just needed to find a way to just get some rounds, and I picked up the double op. I was able to have a huge impact on one round, and we're just able to string a few rounds together. And on Anubis, I think Anubis is a little bit more T-sided, and going onto the T-side, we're very confident in our game plan. And I think when we were playing, we saw that they were making a lot of individual mistakes, so they weren't really comfortable, in my opinion. As I was playing, I felt like they were very uncomfortable. And so I think we were just able to kind of snowball it and have the right reads, and they were just very uncomfortable, and they didn't really have any of the answers. So in the end, we were able to win.
Anubis was the closer today, and Anubis was the closer yesterday for you guys against Navi. Losing that kind of close game and having to come back in knowing it's do or die at this point, what was the mood in the team after losing that game?
Obviously, I remember we started off with Inferno on the first map versus Navi, and I don't know, there was just a lot of just individual team play mistakes where I remember some rounds I was peeking too much when they were too passive, and then I started playing passive, and then they were peeking too much, especially on the A bomb site. So a lot of us we weren't on the same page, and Inferno just felt like a blur to us. It just didn't go our way at all. And then on Anubis, obviously I can't really recall too many of the rounds too much, but yeah, it was a close game. I remember Yakinder had an insane 1v3 ace clutch. I think Anubis was another game that we should have won, but Navi, I think they're playing well. They're starting to get a grip on things with playing with NPL and all that. So you just gotta give props. I think Navi played really well during that time. So hopefully we can go deeper and maybe find some revenge.
You're going to be taking on your former teammate Twist tomorrow for that last spot in the arena. Tell me, is there a lot of pressure on that game, knowing what they're fighting for with the Intel Grand Slam and what's at stake?
I think the pressure is on FaZe. I think this is their opportunity to also, claim the Grand Slam. Of course, they have other opportunities, but I think, winning it in Katowice, I'm sure would feel great for them. And it's hard to maintain form and consistency being on the top most of the time, even though they're maybe not considered top 1 right now, but they are a top 3 team in my opinion. So for them, they've been doing this for a long time. They've been a top 3 team for forever now. So I think they're gonna have to be able to come up and show their A game, because I'm sure soon enough it's gonna start to slow down for them, because like I said, they've had a lot of longevity in the top 3, top 1. So we'll just have to wait and see. Get to go play against Twist, my fellow Canadian. It's a sad way to kick one of us out. I wish we could both go through. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess, and we'll see how it goes.
Another former teammate of yours, Grim, on Complexity at the moment, they've been performing pretty well, and they're still alive as well. What's your thoughts on the progress that Complexity has made, kind of keeping up the NA level at this time with you guys?
Yeah, obviously, huge props and respect to Complexity. I think they're starting to, turn a new page in their team and how they play and all that. And I think they're playing really well. They just had unfortunate blast. I feel like they actually should have qualified. I think they were up versus Navi on the last map, where they should have maybe had that spot, going into the Washington event. And the major, unfortunately, the major qualifier, the RMR, they slipped up, even though it was really close games. It was just really unfortunate. But at the end of the day, I think they're playing great, and I know they're doing well, and they're putting a lot of work in. So I just hope Complexity and Jason Lake trust the process with Complexity. And and just keep supporting them, because in North America it's tough for all of us to be spending all of our, most of our lives in Europe, and at the end of the day I see that and them working hard. I talk a lot with Grim and a lot of their players and what they're doing, and I just hope that they keep grinding, and Complexity is always there to support them. And yeah, I think they're capable of almost becoming like a top 10 team, at the very least, and who knows where they can go from there.
For yourself and Elige, I mentioned it with him in our interview the other day. You were 23rd, I believe, on the HLTV Top 20, and he was 22, just missing out. Is that the kind of goal and expectation that you guys are going to be back into that top 20 at the end of the year with personal form?
I'm always going to try my best and give it my all, but I feel like I'm very limited in what I can do compared to back in the day when I was like a top 20 player during 2019 and all that. In 2021, I felt like there was just like a lot more freedom for me individually to do a lot more things, whereas this one I'm kind of just following a code, and I'm following a way for like the way the team wants to play. How Nitro wants to play, Yakinder wants to play. I don't really have any individual plays for myself. I want my way of thinking to be the same way as Yakinder's and like Nitro's. I want to be on their page to play the game, and as long as we're all on the same page, that's how we're going to win as a team, And yeah, at the end of the day, I'm just going to do my job, lurking and anchoring bomb sites, just doing my thing and just getting the kills that I need to do. And in terms of like top 20 and all that shit, to be honest, like it's whatever to me. I'm just here to win. I want trophies. It's been too long since I've had a trophy, so I'm just gonna do whatever I can to win. I'm just gonna do everything I can. We'll just wait and see what happens.
So you don't really care about like the personal stuff, and you said like getting onto the same page with the team. Is a goal that trophy now that you've had the 2 finals appearances back at Blast and back at EPL?
Yeah, of course. Like we've had, we've been so close at times, especially like in the EPL final. We definitely should have won that on overpass. We just like choked it in the end, unfortunately. And Blast G2 was playing phenomenal, so they just outplayed us. So we can't really give anything there. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing my thing, and hopefully get some trophies. Like that's the only thing I'm gonna remember, and people are gonna remember is the trophies, and those are the most important things, not individual awards. But at the end of the day, it's always nice to remind yourself how good you're playing in HLTV or whatever awards they want to give out to remind you how good of a player you are. But at the end of the day, I already know what type of player I am. I don't really give a shit if an award tells me that.